Hey there, this is Cash. My YouTube username is Cashify. I thought I'd make another video for HolonsNetwork. And I'm looking at the HolonsNetwork page right now as we speak. And the number of subscribers is exactly 1,000. So if you are the 1,000th subscriber, and you know it, leave a comment. Let everybody know. Or I'm curious, who was it? Who was the 1,000th subscriber to HolonsNetwork? Give a shout. In the comment section on the channel page, I'm going to read you a couple of quick things here. Back to the B-Lab says, different peeps is good, but in the tradition of the Holon crew, it would be nice if their videos were also mostly in dialogue, smiley. I love you. I love you all. Yeah, so sorry. Broke the tradition of the Holon crew there with the landscape video. It was only a minute. I can talk too. I've been known to do that. Another comment here from Oz J. Thomas. I like the little videos you are posting of different people now, smiley. So, cool. You guys are liking the additional peeps. So I want to talk about what the HolonsNetwork is all about, which is planetary culture. And right now we do have a planet, and there is a sort of a culture. But let's talk about what's going on. Like, in our own culture, we can have different gangs, right? Like in LA alone, there's lots of different subcultures that are shooting at each other and cutting each other and beating each other. So within a culture, you can have a lot of violence, a lot of discord. And in our current planetary culture, which already exists, we have a planetary culture. It's just that we have clans and sects and subculture violence where we have people who self-identify with different races or belief systems and use that as a reason to be extremely uncool to one another. And so I want to talk a little bit about why that is and why people feel justified in murdering another person. I mean, wouldn't you agree that we probably want to have a culture, be part of a culture that doesn't kill people unless it's absolutely necessary? But it's very clear that dogma and the us versus them attitude is a human trait because it pops up in theism or atheism. And because dogma is a human trait, we all need to work together to kind of examine this root cause of violence between subcultures and see if we can come up with a solution together to put an end to it. Wouldn't that be great? But at any rate, wouldn't 1,000 years of peace be cool? Or more, you know. I'm not sure what's going to happen after 1,000 years of people being really cool to each other, but that's a long time. You think technologically we'll probably be maybe not fighting amongst each other, but defending ourselves from some outside extraplanetary force at that point. Who knows? But so the focus here is our planetary culture, trying to bring the entire culture of the planet together in unity so that we think of each other as brothers and sisters just because we're members of the planet Earth, not because we are atheists or theists or black, white, yellow, or whatever. But what makes us family is that we share the same mother, the same planet. And so that's a belief, you know. In one sense, the very problem, the whole root of the problem is that everybody wants everybody else to have their exact beliefs. So everybody's saying, well, everybody needs to believe this, right? So there's a lack of tolerance. There's a lack of radical inclusion going on. So we think that in order to be considered family, somebody has to believe like we do. And have you ever noticed that the more closely somebody else's beliefs line up with our own, the more glaring the differences become, and the more we can't stand those differences. And I don't know, because I think that, oh, this person's misrepresenting my beloved belief system or something, you know. Why is it that bugs us more? I can't even listen to him. He's so close to me, but he's got it wrong. Who knows, right? I mean, it wouldn't bug you if somebody who had a radically different belief system was out there spouting their stuff about things that you totally don't believe. Weird, huh? It's good not to kill people for no reason, unless it's completely unavoidable. I mean, obviously there might be a situation where you've got some terrorist or some guy who's about to wipe out a huge amount of people, where you have to take him down by whatever means, and lethal means may be the only means that you really can use, to be sure. But in general, killing people for their belief systems or for some other silly reason like that, we all probably ought to come to an agreement that that's not a good idea. It's not something that we want to do. So, but what the problem is that there are many people out there that don't feel that way. There's a huge amount of people that feel we ought to murder everybody who doesn't agree with us, right? Kind of the Hitler-Stalin philosophy is we're going to make these ideas universal by just getting rid of the people who don't agree, right? The New World Order. Yeah, the military-industrial complex solution to ideological differences. That's not necessarily the road we want to go down or continue to go down, because we have a long, long history of that. So somehow bringing more awareness to this idea of the dogma, the us versus them, being the root cause, to generate some kind of an awareness among the entire culture of the planet that this is something that doesn't serve us as individuals or as a people, that it's a bad idea to go down that road, even though we've been going down it for quite some time. Putting those means into place, as Piero said, leaves us with those same means after the problem is resolved. So if we commit genocide and we wipe out our enemy, we've created a culture that's genocidal, who's used to wiping out their enemy, and then there are further disagreements, and then those people have to be wiped out, and so on and so on. So the means that we put into place in bringing about a consciousness that dogma and prejudice and bigotry and us versus them needs to be examined. These means have to be not brutal, not murderous, and conversational would be a good place to start. Let's talk about this. Let's get a conversation going. Let's iron out some of the disagreements, and let's start building a network of people who can build a further network of people until the entire planet is kind of in agreement on this. And then all the different belief systems, whether it's theist or atheist, or any different type of theism or different type of atheism, can come together and recognize that no two people, not one married couple in all of history, no two best friends. You took all the married couples for the last millions of years, and you said, I don't know if marriage is the institution is that old, but the couples, the mates for the last millions of years, and you said, okay, you spent your life together. Can you, if they're honest, can you honestly say you've never had a disagreement over how things should be, right and wrong, in every single situation? Any married couple will tell you, yeah, there are times that we have disagreements and we have to talk about that. There are times they may not argue or fight. The way they go about handling that may all be different, but they don't agree 100% in every situation on a clear, evident solution or the way it should be. We have different worldviews. We are all uniquely individual. And so that's why wiping out anybody who is different from us is not a good plan. And in that agreeing to disagree, we no longer have to fight to try to make everybody just like us. And we can all allow each other to have slightly different versions of the truth, the way we see it, the worldview. Is this an absolute? Are we never, ever going to try to persuade Are we never going to try to convince somebody to see things differently? No. But the methods that we use, the teaching methods that we put into place, when we see that maybe somebody could adopt views that would serve them better, are going to be different from what we've seen historically in our planetary culture. So that's the conversation that I would like to start. Anyway, I'll talk more about this later, and I'll definitely respond in the comments if you guys have something to say. Peace, namaste, ciao.